Part 52. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 511. Before the call was hung up, Chaoran's phone lit up again. At first glance, it was Guang's largest shareholder, the middle-aged man who gave her great trust last time, Director Han. It turned out that Guang was worried. I was afraid that she would be signed by someone else. After she spent a lot of money at the auction tonight, entertainment companies and agents have noticed her condition. At that time, someone had already contacted Xioxia and wanted to sign her. In the past few hours, dozens of companies were interested in her and called to offer her an olive branch. Among them are some of the top domestic companies. Guang was also a little anxious, fearing that the cooked duck would fly away. "Don't worry, haven't I already signed a 3-month contract with the Rays?" Chaoran laughed. "That contract is too bad. Who would have thought that this Zhonglan would be so capable, and that he could make such a big splash on his own without the company's help?" Tonight's series of operations, whether they were man-made or coincidental, have already spread in their circles and advertising circles. Needless to say, for a long time to come, last night's series of popular search operations will become the most successful case of grasping traffic passwords and will be talked about by people in the industry. Oh, when she invested more than 6 million yuan to buy paintings, who wouldn't say that she suffered a big loss? But what her 8 million now brings is a steady stream of hot searches, tens of millions of traffic, hundreds of millions in sales, and a reputation as an almost national treasure-level actor. If the current trend continues, she will likely occupy a place in various charity awards, achievement awards at the end of the year, and even the official media's Best Artist, Best Youth, Annual Role Model, etc. Not only did she do charity, her actions also inspired businesses and people to do good deeds, which coincided with the above call and coincided with the core values promoted in recent years. The higher-ups need artists like this to serve as role models, don't they? From the first time he saw her, Director Han felt that she was not simple. Although she was a little older, she should still have a lot of value. Who would have thought that a female artist in her 30s could make a big splash and become a star, becoming as popular as those young idols? This is not a late bloomer, but incredible. Who will sign her back now? Not only is it a matter of making money, but she can also expect to receive a lot of awards, even if she is just a mascot to attract the attention of passers-by. The top management of the Rays just held an emergency meeting, and the topic was her. Although she had already signed a contract with them, the contract was for a third-level artist, which made them very upset. With her current value, no one would be willing to help her pay the small liquidated damages, right? They were afraid that someone would snatch her away. Why didn't they consider before that GXE could give her a contract as a second-level actress precisely because she was so valuable? If they had been more generous at that time and signed her with a second-level actor contract, there would be sky-high liquidated damages there, and there would be no need to scratch their heads like this now. Let's change the contract at dawn. As I said before, I will tailor a contract for you. You decide the conditions. You want to act. You can choose from several books in the company. Female protagonist, variety show, or other. Except for some basic contracts, we can also apply for a signing fee for you. A signing fee of tens of millions. Do you think it's okay? Chaoran's heart skipped a beat. Gee, this treatment is almost as good as her previous contract with the company in reality. Don't worry, Director Han. Let's talk about these things tomorrow. Isn't there Sister Zhen? She will come over tomorrow morning, and I will just discuss it with her then. I have said before that I am a person who values affection and repays kindness. Please feel free to rest early. She seemed to have agreed, but it seemed like she didn't agree to anything. Because it was already past 1 o'clock and she had to go home. Xioxia and the others are still asking, there are also prepared push topics. Let's put it aside for now. In fact, the hot search topics she plans to promote today are far more than the previous ones. Internet trolls and generous donations from brands were not originally included in her calculations. That's enough for tonight. Everyone has rested. If we push it now, the effect will not be good. And eating too much in one sitting can easily appear deliberate and cause resentment. The few items I recommended before can still be fermented after dawn, and we can continue after the effect is achieved. Even better. Tao Ran, everyone pack up, leave a few people on duty, and others get ready to go home. Everyone worked hard tonight, 5 times the salary. Sister, are you still going out? Xioxia was extremely surprised when she saw Tao Ran was still wearing her coat. I'll come as soon as I go. Please take care of Coco for me first tonight. Coco slept in Tao Ran's lounge in the studio. Tao Ran put on his hat and mask, took another button from the office, carefully clipped it to his coat, took the things and took a taxi home. When we got home, the lights in the villa were still on. It was already 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. Obviously tonight is another sleepless night for some people. Tao Ran pulled the scumbag out of the blacklist and then made a phone call, "Come and help me get my things." The scumbag ran straight to the garage and came out of the garage door. Only then did he see his wife had arrived at the door holding her things. "Where's the car?" He had suppressed his anger and the words came to his lips. "Why hasn't his sports car been driven back? I drank and didn't drink." "Where is the car parked?" Liang Cheng's voice was a little trembling. He had a feeling that the car would never come back. "Parking lot." "Where's that off-road vehicle from before?" "Still repairing." "Where's Coco?" "At Xioxia's house." "That wuxia. Are you crazy? Why did you leave your child in someone else's home? You're crazy. You have to go to work, your parents are irresponsible, and I have something to do tonight. Where do you think Coco should go? And Xioxia is my friend, not someone else's. You have the nerve to say you have something to do tonight? Do you mean you have something to do? You spent $8 million on a trip. Are you as wasteful as you? Liang Cheng, do you want to be shameless? That 8 million is not your money." Saying this, Tao Ran opened the door and deliberately knocked the object in his hand against the scumbag. The cylindrical hardboard gift box knocked on Liang Cheng's forehead, making a muffled sound and feeling a little painful. Liang Cheng's anger was already rising, and he just wanted to strangle this woman to death. And he suddenly realized what it was that hit him on the head. Could it be, that 666? Liang Cheng stared at the cylindrical gift box and rushed to snatch it from Tao Ran's hand. "Open it and see, it's not exactly the case. What colorful ghost drawings. That's it? That's it? More than 6.6 million? His money, his money. This garbage." His heart was bleeding. "What rubbish. You are rubbish. Give me back the painting." "It's more than 6 million, Tao Ran went to grab it, but Liang Cheng subconsciously avoided it, and Tao Ran missed it. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 513. Tao Ran failed to grab the painting and swooped away, hitting the entrance cabinet with his whole body. "Give me back the painting," she stretched out her hand coldly. Liang Cheng has been as angry as a firecracker with this woman these days and may explode at any time. Now that this woman is still so bossy, he certainly doesn't want to give it to her anymore. Why? Just give it as she said? With this broken painting, you can buy a house in the urban area of Beijing. Aren't you rich? Don't you like this painting? Didn't you say at the charity meeting that you didn't want to let down the children? Want it? Come on, why not spend another 6 million and I'll sell you this painting. If you want to be crazy, be as crazy as possible. Do you want to buy it or not? You bastard. Be careful. If you damage this painting, I'm not done with you. Tao Ran grabbed Liang Cheng angrily and asked Liang Cheng to avoid it. It seems that you really care about this painting. Liang Cheng was speechless, but he seemed to have found a way to hold his wife, and his back straightened up instantly. You have to be careful with this painting. After all, it is a perishable product. If it is damaged, your character as a kind person may be gone. Then you will be really embarrassed. What will happen to the children in the mountainous area in the future? I trust you, don't you? As he spoke, Liang Cheng raised the unfolded painting in front of him, gesturing to hold it with 2 fingers on each hand, threatening to tear it apart at any moment. Tao Ran sneered. Silly. She was cursing in her heart, but her face was angry. What exactly do you want? Just tell me. Let me ask you, why didn't you answer Mr. Zhang's call? Mr. Zhang called you more than a dozen times tonight? You didn't even answer the phone. It was because of this woman that he was trained all night tonight? GXE urged him to find a way to get Zhanglan to sign a contract with GXE as soon as possible, otherwise the account would be put on his head. Mr. Zhang just called him again and said that as long as he could do it, he could find a way to erase the 4 million he owed the company. Liang Cheng only felt that the world was crazy. He wanted to have a good talk with his wife, but for some reason, everything Zhanglan did was at his breaking point, making him want to explode when he saw her. Liang Cheng sneered. If you want this painting, there is another way. You quickly sign GXE's contract. You forced me. Yes, I'll force you. If you don't listen. Liang Cheng directly applied force with his fingers, and the fragile painting made a sound. More than 6 million pieces of rubbish. If you don't want me to tear it to pieces, hurry up and get it. The contract is signed. Liang Cheng was already prepared, and there was a contract on the table that GXE had prepared for Zhanglan to sign. I don't want to sign GXE, Tao Ran said bluntly. Now many companies want to sign me, even if the treatment is not as good as GXE's. Do you want to sign or not? Liang Cheng made a click, and he opened a thin opening in the middle of the painting. You want to use the contract to control me? It's not enough for you to mentally bully me, why do you want to torture me like this? Yes, I will control you. If you don't sign, just think about the child. Coco is so innocent and cute, don't force me to do anything. You have to know that if something happens to you and me, it will be Coco who gets hurt. Liang Cheng was busy finding Zhang Yian's weaknesses to threaten him, but he didn't know that the reason why the person opposite came to see him was to collect evidence against him. Tao Ran deliberately hit him with the painting, deliberately let him snatch the painting away, and deliberately led him to make all kinds of threats and intimidations. Therefore, at the moment, Tao Ran wanted him to say more and do more, and make more mistakes quickly. You dare? See if I dare, Liang Cheng roared, his face ferocious. The calmer Tao Ran was, the angrier Liang Cheng became. I won't sign. Not only will I not sign, in order to protect Coco, I will divorce you. Can you say that again? I said, I want to divorce you. I will continue to do charity, and I will sponsor several children in mountainous areas. I will break up with you. I will not tolerate your pua towards me anymore. Liang Cheng was finally completely ignited. What the hell are you dreaming about? His marriage has been his way of making money from the beginning. His personality is entirely maintained by this marriage. Before he is ready, he will not allow any changes that may affect his ability to make money. When Tao Ran stopped him, Liang Cheng tore open the painting in his hand. The painting he bought for more than 6 million yuan was torn into pieces by him. I have been too tolerant towards her lately. That's why she's so arrogant. At her current level of madness, she might have squandered all the 20 million in just a few days. I'm telling you, you can't even think about divorce. I won't agree. Everything you have there belongs to me. The money, the car, the children, and the house. Liang Chen was so angry that he yelled. Just as Chaoran was about to provoke him further, the door opened. Mother Liang rushed out while spitting and swearing. You wasteful thing. My little wife is so unlucky that she married someone like you. What kind of rubbish is this? Mother Liang looked at the thing that was torn into two pieces on the ground, with tears streaming down her face. What a sin! That's it? More than 6 million, Liang's mother was even crazier than Liang Cheng. She loved money the most, and she was so heartbroken that she would tear up the paintings as soon as she grabbed them. Tao Ran went to grab it, but was hit by Liang's mother several times on the arm. Tao Ran screamed repeatedly and accidentally caught Liang's mother. The latter became even more angry and went up to her and pinched her several times. Howl like hell. How dare you howl before I even exert my strength? You are just a three-legged cat actor after all. If your acting is so bad, don't be embarrassed. Part of the painting was torn into pieces by Mother Liang in a few moments. On the other side, Dad Liang also came out on crutches. He pointed his finger and said, "Why are you still standing there? Your wife is too excited, why don't you send her to the room? She has been suffering from depression, and this is not good. Give her a few sleeping pills first." Liang Cheng came up and pulled Tao Ran. He used both hands to grab Tao Ran's hands and dragged her away. Father Liang took her bag and started looking through it just like last time. After finding the phone, the old man threw it to his wife and asked her to use Tao Ran's fingerprint to unlock the phone. Dad Liang, Xiao Cheng. Tomorrow you go to Duyun and ask her to find a way to get the money back. Bring this crazy woman's medical records and say that her postpartum depression has not been cured and has long since turned into a mental illness. No, last night's donation doesn't count. If Duyun doesn't refund, you threaten to sue her and their organizer to see if she dares to hold on to that money. Your dad is still thoughtful, Liang's mother nodded anxiously. Lock her up, then Coco. Liang Cheng hesitated. Idiot. Didn't you get the cell phone? Call that Xioxia number. If she doesn't send the child back, we will call the police. She is not the child's guardian, and she still wants to go to jail? When the crazy woman woke up and told her that she wanted to see the child, she signed a contract first. Wait until tomorrow to ask for a rebate from the brand that sells clothes, it's a big deal. As long as this woman is dealt with, everything else is easy. As long as she signs the contract, UGXC can go to the brand to ask for money. The old man directly helped Liang Cheng arrange all the things to be done in the next few steps. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 514. Tao Ran was very satisfied. The sanctimonious guys in this family showed their true colors one by one. The plan they made was even better than her original idea, and they took it seriously and did not let her down at all. It was considered that her hard work in the middle of the night was not in vain. Good. Tonight is probably the last time in a short time that I will play face to face with them. After all, after dawn, I will be busy working on my career for a while. So Tao Ran let Liang Cheng pull her, entangled with him up the stairs, and was dragged by him slowly to the second floor. After listening to Father Liang's words, Liang's mother ran upstairs with Tao Ran's mobile phone, trying to unlock it with her fingerprint. Father Liang hummed and walked to the bottom of the stairs. Zhonglan. You just heard our plan. Xiao Cheng has feelings for you. If you have some thinking ability, if you think about your children, if you want to suffer less, I advise you to admit your mistake and beg for mercy. Otherwise, I'm afraid you will regret it. You kid has always been aware of current affairs, and you have been doing this for these years. As you are approaching middle age, it's time to see the reality clearly. Tao Ran couldn't hold it back and sneered directly at Father Liang, "What about you? You are still wallowing in vanity at this age, why do you force me to be at your mercy?" She stepped on Liang Cheng's instep. Liang Cheng hissed and struck her with his back elbow. Of course he couldn't hit her. The elbow hit her directly on the stairs, making him grimace in pain. "I won't give up," Tao Ran said coldly, "I have been bullied by you for so many years. I will fight to the end. I will get divorced and get rid of you. You trash." Tao Ran pushed Liang Cheng, seemingly just resisting, but in fact, he used force on his hands and stabbed the scumbag's ribs with his fingers. There was a pain in his chest and ribs, and Liang Cheng almost knelt down, but he knew that his father's leg was broken, and he was the only one who could restrain Zhonglan now, so he had to endure it. Tao Ran did not forget to continue to provoke Liang Cheng, "Trash, I will definitely reveal your true colors and your reputation will be ruined. Just wait for me." "You're dreaming," Liang Cheng punched him, "you're dreaming. You will never escape my grasp. Just accept your fate." This punch came so fiercely that it brought up a gust of cold wind, which rubbed Tao Ran's face and hit it directly on the wall of the staircase. The famous painting on the wall was hit by Tao Ran and fell directly to the ground. The glass frame shattered all over the floor with a ringing sound, which even made Father Liang yell and ask his son to quickly restrain the crazy woman. Feeling that the material captured on the button on his chest was almost there, Tao Ran did not intend to waste any more time. She let Liang Cheng drag her to the stairs. She watched Liang's mother arrive after a few more steps. Then she shouted, "Let me go," and suddenly put more force on her hand. A hook of the foot, a strengthening of the arm, a lift of the knee. Liang Cheng's ankles, elbows, and vital parts were impacted at the same time. Even though he gritted his teeth, he could not help but lose strength for a moment. Pain. Later, when Tao Ran made a gesture and was pushed to the ground by Liang Cheng, the scumbag who arched his body was also sent out by Tao Ran. To be precise, it was sent away. "Go down the stairs." The scumbag never expected that his wife would suddenly be so powerful and strike so smoothly. He was already shrinking into a ball due to the severe pain in his lower body. After being thrown down the stairs, he rolled straight down. It's not that he doesn't want to control, but the speed is too fast, his wrists are too weak to grasp the stair railing, and his ankles are also too weak to hold on. Just like that, Liang Cheng bumped into Liang's mother on the stairs like a bowling ball, who couldn't avoid it. How could Liang Mama withstand his collision? It completely fell over at the first touch. Liang's mother couldn't stand and sat down on the ground. Unfortunately, she happened to sit on a piece of glass, which caused her to scream in pain. That's not all, she was carried down by her son who rolled down, and her butt slid down several steps before the two finally stopped at the corner between the first and second floors. The two of them were in mourning, especially Liang's mother. Listening to the scream, it was probably glass shards that had entered the buttocks. After all, her buttocks not only bear the weight of two people, but also have to fight against glass debris, which is really difficult for her buttocks. Father Liang wanted to rush forward to save people, but he was unable to do so. "You're a bastard, you're going to murder your husband and mother-in-law," Father Liang angrily pointed at his calm-looking daughter-in-law. Tao Ran pretended to be surprised. "How could you bite me back? Liang became the one who imprisoned me, but he stepped on it himself. My mother-in-law was also knocked down by your son. What does it have to do with me? You want to pour this kind of dirty water on me, splash on your head? You guys are really terrible." Tao Ran walked down the stairs quickly, and when she reached the corner of the stairs, her ankle was hugged by the scumbag who was still on the ground and hadn't gotten up. "Oh, okay. You asked for it?" The movie queen's acting skills came to her again, and she faked falling to the ground and fell directly on the scumbag. Her elbow sank, directly pressing against Liang Cheng's ribs, and the scumbag let out another howl like a killing pig. Tao Ran wanted to give him some pain, so he kicked him on the waist. The scumbag instantly let go, hugged himself and curled up again. When Tao Ran was pushed away by him, his foot slipped and hit Liang Ma hard. Liang's mother was pinned down by her, almost knocking her out of breath. While screaming, Tao Ran grabbed Ma Liang's hand, twisted it under her body, and then broke it with all her strength. When the howl started, Liang's mother's hand, which had been holding her cell phone tightly, suddenly loosened her grip. After the phone was taken back, Tao Ran staggered to his feet and ran down with a cry, "I want to get out of here, you devils are so scary." After a few steps, he rushed to the stairs on the first floor. Father Liang, who was holding a cane, saw her rushing down. Suddenly his heart went crazy. He jumped back 3 times in succession and clung to the wall. He put the cane in front of him and looked at her warily. Tao Ran shouted, holding his head, and rushed over, passing him by. Father Liang was relieved that he was not targeted, but the moment the gust of wind passed, he was injured and couldn't exert himself. His knees suddenly twitched, and then a burst of soreness hit him. Severe pain broke out. He couldn't stand for a moment and fell down. "Bitch," the old man was furious. When she ran over, she did not touch him. But she grabbed his crutch and slapped his injured knee hard. His fractured knee, which had not yet healed, made a clicking sound, and he was afraid that the injury was more serious. When Tao Ran was scolded by him, he slowed down and turned around. "You and your family are so scary." "Old man, I obviously didn't touch you. Do you want to touch me again?" Tao Ran trotted away without looking back, amidst the threatening sounds behind him, and headed straight for the garage. She drove directly away from the last mobility scooter in the garage. Well, she only drank half a sip of champagne at 8 o'clock last night, and now it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and she has long since passed. Of course she can drive. Coming out of the garage, she saw that the 3 people were still in their original positions and unable to get up. As expected, the old man had to be hospitalized again. Liang Cheng's ribs will most likely need to heal for a while. As for whether his waist and key parts were injured, it depends on his luck. Mother Liang, if the glass penetrates the flesh, she may need a minor operation on her butt. Tisk tisk, what a shame. I already have osteoporosis, but even if I sit down so much, I wonder if my bones will crack. Ha, now there is no car at home. Even if Liang Cheng can bear the pain, he can't drive to the hospital. What should I do in the middle of the night? 3 disabled people, let's find a solution on our own. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 515. As Tao Ran drove out of the community, the scumbag called and threatened her to call the police. "Well, let's report it. Do you want me to report it for you? You did domestic violence to me first, then self-mutilated and violated me. I also want to ask the police for comment. You tore my things worth more than 6 million yuan, and I also want to ask the media to help me get an explanation." Ah. Now, who is afraid of whom? Not to mention calling the police, those scumbags don't even dare to call the police. Yesterday, the media sniffed out the marriage change information. She came home in the middle of the night and left in the middle of the night, and the doorman recorded it. There are only a few people in the family, and a pinch of time can make people think wildly. Liang Cheng is now more afraid of marriage problems than anyone else. Once the news leaks out, others will not be able to protect themselves, and GXC will also have to make him look good. Therefore, even if the 3 of them were beaten by her, they could not seek justice. They could not make it public yet and could only hold it in. Even if they were all seriously injured and in agony, they could only lose their teeth and swallow blood. There was nothing they could do except swallow it. Tao Ran sneered, Zhonglan had to bear this in the plot, and now it's their turn. In the short term, Taoran has no plans to return to that home. She counted 10 and moved all Zhang Yian's important and valuable things in batches a while ago when Liang's father was hospitalized and there was no one at home. So today's trip is purely for show. Now, you can go back to sleep. On the way, Mr. Zhang's call came. She didn't give Mr. Zhang any face at all. I'm sorry. I will never sign GXC. Not in this life, nor in the next life. Not only will I not, I will get divorced. I will also sue him. Ask him for the specific reasons. In short, in the future, I don't want to have any more entanglements with him. Taoran hung up the phone directly, and then blocked Mr. Zhang. Hey, next time Liang Cheng will be lucky again. She wanted to see how long GXC could protect him. Will GXC give up on him, or squeeze all his value out of him? And without protection and confidence, how should he continue to struggle? Taoran returned to the studio, and Xioxia and the others were still working overtime. Her current statistics are very good, and her number of fans has exceeded 10 million. Taoran laughed. This time, she actually started her career as an internet celebrity. Never thought of it before. Xioxia's mobile phone also received a call from Mr. Zhang. Mr. Zhang asked Xioxia to tell Zhang Lan that as long as she could sign the contract, GXC could add other conditions. If she still feels dissatisfied, they can put Liang Cheng in cold storage now and transfer all Liang Cheng's resources to her in the future. Taoran answered the phone. How is Liang Cheng doing now? Her voice was calm. Mr. Zhang couldn't figure out whether she hated Liang Cheng because of her love, or whether she had a mixture of love and hate, or she had begun to feel distressed, so she could only tell the truth. Liang Cheng's family was injured and called the assistant. I personally took the doctor to your house without asking him to call the police or ambulance. They are all celebrities, so it is inconvenient to go to that point. I know everything. Last night the thing is that they were wrong. Everyone was impulsive. But we are all a family, there is nothing we can't live with. Even if it's just for the sake of the children, right? Seeing that Zhang Yian's attitude was acceptable, Mr. Zhang felt that she still had feelings for Liang Cheng. Liang Cheng's parents are both in the hospital now. Liang's father's injury was a bit serious and he was hospitalized again. His mother had to undergo a minor operation, and her pelvic bone was also cracked, so she also had to be hospitalized. They have to stay for a while. Liang Cheng had several contusions on his body, his wrists and ankles were sprained, and 2 ribs were broken. He had to stay in bed to recuperate. He is now lying at home. He cried bitterly, regretting his actions. He also misses Coco and feels sorry for you. He said that as long as you come home, he is willing to let your parents move away and live a good life with you, Coco, and the family of 3. He wants to go back to the past. Can I ask him to answer the phone? Yet Taoran was very meek, and vaguely heard Mr. Zhang's fierce warning to Liang Cheng. Liang Cheng answered the phone, pitifully, and really started sobbing. Please, Xiaolan, I can kneel down for you. I admit my mistake, and I agree to anything. As long as you can come back with Coco. Promise to everything. Yeah, promise. Although you haven't received much work these years, you've been quite prosperous. Excluding expenses, your savings are not hundreds of millions, but almost 9 figures, right? In this case, you can transfer your savings over the years to mine. On the account, I will go back without saying a word. Only in this way can I trust you. Do you think it's okay? There was no movement on the other end of the phone. Haha, Taoran hung up the phone again. He refused to pay out the 4 million he owed the company, let alone hundreds of millions of dollars. Xioxia's phone rang again, and Taoran suddenly clicked on speakerphone. The moment the phone was connected, he could still hear Mr. Zhang's vulgar curses from Liang Cheng. Xiaolan, Don't worry about Liang Cheng. GXC really wants to sign you. So, if you want anything, just tell me. I. Tao Ran hung up the phone again. Ha, Mr. Zhang is hung up on again and again. I'm afraid I can't bear to be so embarrassed. And his outlet is naturally only Liang Cheng, he deserves it. Asking Xioxia to block the call there, she checked her phone again. It was only then that she replied to Director Lu's message, saying that a lot of things happened that night. There were 999 plus messages on her mobile phone, and she just had time to deal with them one by one. Director Lu was still awake and directly made a video call to ask her to meet. I may not be free these 2 days. You don't need to come over. I just need to share your free time and I'll go find you. A busy man who had squeezed out 10 minutes last time actually expressed this proactively now. Okay, if I'm free, I'll contact you then. Okay, I'll wait for your call. Director Lu smiled brightly. My assistant is already drafting a contract for you. It will be sent to you at noon. Please take a moment to read it. If you have any questions, just ask me. Good. It wasn't long before dawn, so Tao Ran went directly to the balcony and meditated to welcome the first ray of dawn. At this time, the earth's yin turns to yang, and this is the time when the spiritual energy of heaven and earth is at its purest. After more than 2 hours of meditation and an hour of morning exercise, she was full of energy and started Zhang Yian's new life. She and her bodyguard sent Coco to school, and the school teacher actually found out about the series of charitable acts performed by Coco's mother last night, which shows the huge impact of what happened last night. After chatting privately with the teacher, she returned to the studio. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Sister Zhen arrived on time. As soon as we met, she gave him a thumbs up. Over the past few years, your progress has been impressive. Sister Zhen came with a drafted contract to discuss with her. The contract standard offered to her by Guangming now is no lower than the contract she received from GXC last time. What Sister Zhen means is to take advantage of the current high popularity and sign the big rules first, so as to avoid the company going back on their word or tightening the conditions if the popularity suddenly drops in the future. Tao Ran was not in a hurry about this. She has confidence in herself, and her popularity will never drop so quickly. But she really needed a backer. So she agreed. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 516. It's been a busy day. As Tao Ran expected, her fever reached its peak this morning. There were so many topics last night that someone made a special topic for her and sorted out the timeline of her words and deeds last night. Someone made statistics for her. Overnight, her Weibo fans surged to more than 12 million. The combined popularity of all hot searches about her last night exceeded 2.5 billion views this morning, which is comparable to it is called an overnight hit. That is truly an overnight hit. She actually has a fan club, her own super chat and support club. Fans are calling on her beautiful and kind-hearted sister not to be buried in family trivial matters, but to come back as soon as possible and bring good works. Of course, it's also indispensable to enjoy the popularity. Someone mixed edited all the scenes she had filmed in her early years, which aroused many people's memories and reminded them that she was once a popular actress. As a result, the calls for her to come back became louder and louder. Someone made a special analysis post for her, discussing how a child with poor conditions in his native family worked hard step by step to realize his dream and then used his own actions to give back and repay the society. Her popularity among passers-by further expanded, and many people considered her. She became a role model for ordinary people. While these people were taking advantage of the traffic, they also brought new popularity to Zhanglan. Until noon, her fever did not drop. Without any data, at least 2 topics remained in the top 10 hot searches. By the afternoon, Tao Ran signed a contract with the Rays. The previous 3-month contract only took effect for a few days and then immediately expired. From now on, all her benefits have been increased by one level. Although it was an appointment with a second-level artist, Sister Zhen told her that no second-level artist in the company could have a signing fee of tens of millions. Sister Zhen fought for the specific amount of the signing fee, 12.66 million, which bodes well. 5.66 million will be credited directly to the account, and the remainder will be settled in 7 months. According to Tao Ran's wishes, the contract will not be officially announced for the time being. But she already had her first job. Previously, Luo Jiao gave her a guest role in the drama. There were 3 scenes in total. Sister Zhen arranged for her to join the set the day after tomorrow. At that time, she would just warm up and check her condition. Perform well. If your condition and acting skills are online, I can get you what you want most. The most desired one, the heroine. Although this clause is signed in the contract, web dramas are also dramas, star dramas are also dramas, and movies are also dramas. She has the ability to choose dramas by herself. She just wants to do a good show. The initial plan was that the day she joined the crew was the day she officially announced her contract with Guang Guang. Luo Jiao happened to be here, and he could help her gain popularity. Sister Zhen officially took over her agent job and quickly contacted the brand manager Huang. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the brand official announced Zhang Yian's free endorsement. Zhang Lan became their first spokesperson in the 30 years since the brand was founded. Yesterday, the brand made a donation of more than 50 million yuan, which is why it is in the limelight. This official announcement once again caused a wave of enthusiasm. Tao Ran also recorded a video, hoping that everyone can consume rationally while supporting domestic products, and thanked all kind-hearted netizens on behalf of the brand. In the afternoon, several official media outlets praised Zhang Lan and the brand by name, calling them philanthropic role models in their respective fields. When some official media came out, the word Zhang Lan became popular again. After changing the Weibo homepage phone number from Xioxia's mobile phone number to the studio's landline number, the landline phone kept ringing throughout the day, filled with inquiries about activities and endorsements. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, after Sister Zhen and Du Yun decided to free up time tomorrow for exclusive interviews and magazine photos, Sister Zhen took Tao Ran directly to Director Lu for an interview. Now, the TV station is begging Zhang Lan to appear on the show. Director Lu actually regretted that time when Zhang Lan came to visit her. After seeing her series of statements, he was clearly tempted, but he even hesitated to bet against her. How much time, money, and energy could have been saved if Zhang Lan had been signed at that time? What the show wants is attention and popularity, and now Zhang Lan is satisfied with both, so in addition to asking her to appear on the main show, the TV station also asked her to appear on 2 other spin-off programs. But Sister Zhen persisted and never backed down easily. An hour later, the deal was finally settled. Tao Ran was very confident and told Director Lu frankly that she would ensure her personal popularity during the broadcast of the show and would also try her best to cooperate with the TV station's promotion. In order to sign her, the TV station not only paid a decent remuneration, but also agreed to several resource exchanges and signed an in-depth cooperation contract with her. In the future, if Zhang Lan has a work, the TV station will help her promote it as soon as possible. In addition, the program team not only did not ask her for any scripts, but also promised that she would not be given any malicious editing. The 2 parties agreed that an official announcement would be made next week. After the contract was signed, Zhang Lan became a member of the sisters. Tao Ran let out a sigh. One of Zhang Yian's wishes was finally fulfilled. In the afternoon, a new topic on Weibo, Zhang Lan donated her wedding necklace, was slowly gaining popularity. This was naturally a topic introduced by the studio under Tao Ran's instruction. Netizens went online to look at the screenshots from last night's live broadcast, and found photos of the jewelry Zhang Lan wore at her wedding. Can they compare it? The diamond necklace Zhang Lan used for charity was one of the wedding accessories in the set. Who would donate their wedding jewelry? Is there any problem in it? After further digging, netizens found that in previous years Zhang Lan would wear a wedding ring when she appeared in public, but last night, she didn't. Coupled with Zhang Yian's previous Weibo post clarifying that charity has nothing to do with Liang Cheng, speculation that the two are suspected of getting married has become more and more heated. More and more clues are being uncovered. Some people say that Zhang Lan was suspected of running away from home alone, and someone photographed Zhang Lan while traveling. Some people said that they saw Liang Cheng quarreling on the phone in the GXC bathroom and scolded Zhang Lan. It is said that Liang Cheng has been severely disciplined by GXC superiors recently, and several bosses are trying to find fault with him every day. A staff member of a program last night testified that Liang Cheng lost his temper backstage while recording the program and almost destroyed the entire dressing room. Soon, Zhang Lan couldn't hide the incident of slapping Liang Cheng's assistant Yao Sisi in GXC. In the past, paparazzi took advantage and were silenced. Now, Zhang Yian's traffic is so high, so naturally she will make money. This time, GXC's public relations was useless. The slap video was circulated on the internet. Zhang Lan, whose expression was restrained and aggrieved, was seen by millions of netizens. They felt extremely distressed. Naturally, they all supported Zhang Lan. Coupled with GXC's strange behavior of suddenly firing Liang Cheng's assistant Yao Sisi, these two things make it hard not to make people think wildly. Rumors spread, and Liang Cheng was called a dog for a while. GXC was timid, so the only thing he could do was to issue a statement and a lawyer's letter, asking Liang Cheng to clarify online that there was no marriage change, while trying to find a way to contact Zhang Lan. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 517. The first job that Taoran put into surprised Guang Guang, Sister Zhen, and Du Yun. Du Yun knew that Zhang Lan had not shown her style in front of the camera for a long time, so she didn't have too many ideas when shooting the cover. He only asked the photographer and stylist to try to capture her dignity and uprightness, and to echo her image of a charitable person. Du Yun put a lot of energy into her interview. However, I originally thought it could be done in half a day, but just the cover shoot lasted until the afternoon. As soon as the first group of photos were taken, she and the photographer realized at the same time that they had been wrong. The camera lens of the person in front of me is quite good, very impressive. The orthodox suit on her body does not look rigid. Instead, it becomes more flexible with her seemingly designed smile, and the capture effect is stronger than that of most artists. Du Yun originally prepared 3 formal outfits for Zhang Lan, but when the first set of photos came out, she had someone quickly change Zhang Yian's makeup, and had all the outfits reserved for a certain star for the month-end issue. She had a hunch that Zhang Lan could control many styles. Can she not be greedy? Zhang Yian's top-notch aura was too strong. She originally thought that Zhang Lan would only be a flash in the pan, so she was eager to grasp its popularity. Now it seems that she is still far from reaching her peak. This judgment made Du Yun make a decisive decision. He wanted to seize the opportunity and get more materials in hand first. Sister Zhen was also shocked. Is it because she hasn't seen her for too long? How come Zhang Lan can do any look with ease? Even the sexy style of the Republic of China, which she was not good at before, was so easy for her to master? Not deliberately at all. She walked around the set at will. Every time she raised her eyes or stopped, she filled the whole scene. It seemed that she was the centerpiece of a story, telling her loneliness and helplessness as a person waiting for her love. The style is in the bones, the charm is given by the eyes, a little laziness, and a trace of disdain, making the best use of the try-it-out cheongsam given by the stylist. The photographer was completely unwilling to stop, and just repeatedly emphasized very good, continue to show. From sitting to standing, from the sofa to the window, from the record player to red wine to cigarettes, and finally smiling with tears in her eyes were red but her eyes were empty. She slowly looked in the mirror and took off her complicated hairstyle. She was enough for herself. A play. No one shouted to stop, and the only sound in the studio was the sound of the photographer's shutter. Sister Zhen's heart almost jumped out of her chest. She felt the actor's emotions and state. She didn't expect that in a scene with so many staff members, the person in front of her could be immersed in the acting skills, the typhoon, and the psychological quality. She took the risk of trusting Zhang Lan once, thinking it was a gamble, but judging from Zhang Yian's immersive performance in the past 10 minutes, this was probably the most successful adventure in her life. In Zhang Yian's condition, not to mention the heroine, even the big screen can probably hold up. "Cut this video for me," Sister Zhen said to Du Yun. The entire filming process was captured on camera, which was great. 5 minutes later, Sister Zhen sent the performance to the company. Her heart was racing and she was very excited. She had a hunch that her and Zhang Yian's dream 10 years ago might really come true. With her acquiescence, the 3-outfit shoot turned into 5. Du Yun was so eager for this good thing that she asked the staff to prepare the costumes and scenery at almost any cost. She even postponed her own 2 jobs and accompanied her throughout the whole process. Sister Zhen just wants to take advantage of the opportunity now to get one shooting sample after another. She will use these styling materials to help Zhang Lan secure resources. Not just from the company, but also from the big directors. She still had favors outside, and she wanted to help Zhang Lan get a chance. She was immediately full of confidence in the future. 5 complete sets, 5 completely different looks. Taoran performed it in her own way. Sister Zhen is satisfied, Du Yun is satisfied, and the staff are also satisfied. The photographer even praised, "Actors are actors, every photo is like telling a story, it's really great." Du Yun picked a photo of Zhang Lan with an upright face and bright eyes, and directly posted on Weibo. To hear Zhang Lan tell her charity story, please stay tuned for this month's special charity issue of Yun's Hang. Well, she decided to add a special charity issue last night, and that's why Zhang Lan appeared on the cover. But now, she feels that Zhang Lan can still be on the cover of the official issue, which is definitely more than enough. She has just asked her assistant to mediate, so that the female celebrity who was originally scheduled to be published next month will be postponed by 1 issue. Du Yun has always been good at controlling the popularity. He also made a note on Weibo, this charity issue is a special issue, and all profits from the sale will be used to donate to children's charities. As soon as it was posted on Weibo, it attracted a lot of attention. A large number of passers-by were attracted. Yuzhen's photos of Zhang Lan are upright and uplifting, and the photos are great. Zhang Lan is indeed an artist praised by mainstream official media, and he can be regarded as a role model for teenagers from his image to his behavior, and more people are asking, how to buy this charity commemorative issue. They want to support Zhang Lan and support charity. Du Yun asked the magazine to post the purchase link in the top comment on Weibo, and then asked his assistant to pay attention to sales. In just 15 minutes, the pre-sale sales of the charity magazine exceeded the sales of the previous month, and the total sales volume quickly exceeded 10 million. Many people bought 10 copies of the book in order to support charity. The rising number made Du Yun take a deep breath. Even the magazine's official blog's followers increased by 600,000 in one afternoon. She really earned it. It was not in vain that she worked hard the day before and midnight to get Zhang Yian's first job after her charity act, and it turned out really well. Du Yun and Sister Zhen decided on the spot to shoot the front and back covers of next month's official issue. Both parties decided to finish filming in one go today. The excited editor-in-chief of Du University immediately launched a network of contacts and asked the team to quickly adjust clothes from major brands, trying to borrow the latest high-end styles. Tao Ran stopped him. "I want to support more domestic products." Du Yun slapped his thigh and nodded repeatedly, "You're right." Sister is too excited, she almost forgot that Zhang Lan was wearing a patriotic character. Sister will make arrangements. So, the 5-outfit shoot ended up being 8 outfits. The shooting was originally scheduled to last only 2 hours, and the filming was completed at 7 p.m. as the scenery and styling had to be changed all the time. Even the interview, which was originally the focus, was completed during the break between makeup. By the time the work was completed, pre-sales of the magazine had reached nearly 30 million copies. According to this trend, I am afraid that the sales of this special issue will break the record. Du Yun praised her. The sales this time are already higher than the time when XX won the top draft. Congratulations to you, Zhang Lan. You are really top now. The scary thing is that buying magazines on a large scale, they are not fanatic fans, but ordinary netizens one after another. From her perspective, Zhang Yan's marketing was so successful. Tao Ran smiled when he heard this. She wants more than just traffic. Sister Zhen is very satisfied with Zhang Lan in all aspects. Throughout the whole day, I was almost tired and fell down, but my artist didn't even say a word of tiredness. This makes her more confident. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 518. On the way back to the studio, Sister Zhen received a call from Jiaxi. "Yes," she said to the other end of the phone. "Zhang Lan has signed with our raise. The contract is complete, but there is no official announcement. If you, Jiaxi, are interested, you can pay attention to the news tomorrow." "Right? Sorry, you are a step late. Under what conditions did I sign and why should I tell you? Zhang Lan dares to donate 8 million, does she still care about money? Who do you underestimate?" Compared to Zhang Lan, Jiaxi's layout is indeed a bit smaller. No wonder you have Liang Cheng in your hands and Zhang Lan is unwilling to sign for you. Don't be angry, they all hang out in the same circle and don't see each other when they look up. It's not worth it? Do you still want to sign her? That will probably have to wait at least 5 years. Yes, we signed a 5-year contract. With such a good artist, we at Guangwang are eager to sign for 10 or 20 years. But with Zhang Yan's strength, it will definitely not take 5 years. Her worth will have to rise to the next level. I had to sign a new contract after all, so I signed it for 5 years first. Well, 5 years later, we, the raise, will have priority. If you care so much, what have you already done? What? Transfer? Transfer is of course possible. Tao Ran looked at Sister Zhen, who told her to calm down. But Zhang Yan's signing fee is quite high, so if you want us to transfer her, you may have to pay her a sky-high liquidated damages. How much? You also know that Zhang Lan makes a lot of money, so even if you offer 9 figures, I'm afraid it's also a bit difficult. Cooperate. Forget it. We signed an exclusive contract. And Mr. Zhang, don't you know that Guangming and Jiaxi have always had different ideas? No matter how much money you give me. If you have any questions, you can contact our legal department directly. Goodbye. After hanging up the phone, Sister Zhen snorted. It's Mr. Jiaxi Zhang. They got wind and knew that you and the Rays had signed a contract privately, so they came to confirm. When he found out that you signed with us, he was going crazy. He offered to exchange you back, in terms of resources or money. The conditions are arbitrary. It seems that you have a handle on them. So be it. Don't worry, no matter how much money I have, I won't sell you. Sister Zhen shook Tao Ran's hand and said, for me, dreams are indeed more important than money. While talking, Chaoran's cell phone rang. After the call was put through, it was Mr. Zhang from GXC who came to question her for breaking her promise. Chaoran laughed, "GXC, you guys have a bad memory, don't you? Although I accepted your contract, I only said that I would consider it, but I didn't say that I would definitely sign you. And the money I received before was from GXC and Liang Cheng, the hush fee, not the signing fee you gave me. You'd better understand this. Now that the contract given to me by Guanghuang Entertainment is more superior and their attitude is more sincere, it's natural for me to choose them." Chaoran hung up the phone. Too lazy to pay attention to them. Now that she has her back against the big tree, she is not afraid of offending the other person at all. "Sister Zhen, go back and have a good rest and perform well tomorrow. The Rays are very optimistic about you now. Opportunities are all earned by yourself, and you must be solid at every step. You performed very well today." The executives at the Rays were very satisfied after watching several videos, and almost couldn't believe that these were all randomly shot. What can be expressed in the studio is no problem in front of the camera. In such a state, if we don't go all out, wouldn't we be sorry for such a high traffic? So the next day, when Chaoran joined the team, several high-level executives of Raytheon also went directly to visit the team. Chaoran loves acting. Now that she has the opportunity, even if there are only 3 scenes, she has put a lot of enthusiasm into it. In the play, she plays Luo Jiao's cousin, a gambling and greedy woman. In the first scene, she came to Luo Jiao's character to borrow money, and with smooth words, she defrauded her cousin of the 20,000 yuan he had saved so hard. In the second scene, Luo Jiao discovered that her cousin's wallet was left at her home. She chased her to her cousin's house to return the wallet, but unexpectedly found that her cousin had entered a black casino. In the third scene, the two had a big fight and broke up. In fact, originally this cousin only had 1 scene, but for Luo Jiao's sake, the screenwriter added 2 more scenes. Sister Zhen feels that the characters in these 3 scenes have changed a lot and are quite layered. They are just right to test Zhang Yian's current level. Chaoran, on the other hand, shocked everyone again. "We went to audition 3 times, but they were all stopped because of Luo Jiao's problems. The director didn't even find any fault with her. When filming officially started, she did it in one go. From the moment she showed up, secretly looking up and down at her cousin, the image of a greedy villain with secret calculations and secret joys, and many evil intentions was fully realized. Facing her cousin, she boasted, her eyes sparkled, and even the corners of her eyes and brows showed calculations. She immediately controlled the scene, and even Luo Jiao's performance was carried away by her. It was really brilliant. Over and over again. The director was surprised and the screenwriter was delighted. The two looked at each other and called Chaoran over, asking her to try out the remaining 2 scenes. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Chaoran. There was no set, no one to act with, not even props, just no physical performance. Even Luo Jiao's lines were written by a screenwriter with non-standard Mandarin. This requires actors to have a strong sense of belief, resilience and immersive devotion to the role. As soon as the director shouted start, Chaoran got into the mood in a second. The image of a gambler in the market immediately appeared, and then she was caught and questioned. She went from panicking, pale denial, forced explanation, gradually losing control of her emotions, to finally angrily questioning God's injustice, screaming and roaring with tears streaming down her face. The whole thing was done in one go. The 2 scenes were directly connected in series, even if it was just a one-man show, even if she didn't memorize the entire word and relied on improvisation, her entire performance was smooth and highly contagious. Just watching her performance for 3 minutes, everyone present felt that this character also had grievances and difficulties. There were many stories behind her, and they couldn't help but want to explore. Wow, it turns out that Zhang Lan has such good acting skills. But why was she willing to be a housewife for so many years? Isn't this too wasteful? The two executives from Guangguang immediately went to make a call. Even Luo Jiao was stunned. Sister, your acting skills are too strong. Luo Jiao handed her a cup of coffee. You are better than the teacher Sister Zhen hired for me. It's a pity that you can only be on the set for 3 days. Otherwise, I really want to ask you for advice. The scene where you took me was so comfortable. I caught that feeling right away. Awesome. Tao Ran's attention was focused on the director and screenwriter, who had raised his eyebrows and was pulling Sister Zhen to whisper, I'm afraid, it may not only be 3 days. She patted Luo Jiao on the shoulder, now that I have time, I can tell you about your problem. Sister, you are really my sister, Luo Jiao quickly pulled her to the lounge. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, Sister Zhen, the director and the screenwriter appeared in the lounge. We want to add a drama to you. Set up your character and create a branch line, the director said cheerfully. Your role is no longer a guest appearance, at least, almost like that of the fourth female lead. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 519. Sister Zhen readily helped Zhonglan accept the director and screenwriter's suggestions. Originally she wanted Zhonglan to rub off on Luo Jiao's affection, but now it seems that it's not certain who will rub off on whom. This script has the momentum to explode. Let's move forward as a team. If 1 + 1 can be greater than 2, then it will be mutual success. Only then did Sister Zhen arrive with the director and screenwriter to look for Tao Ran. The director is excited. A few days ago, he discovered that the passerby who was originally thrust into the crew became a top star overnight. He patted his thigh and lamented that he was lucky. As soon as Zhang Yian's first scene today came out and he discovered that this top player was still a capable person, he really couldn't sit still. At this time, would you be crazy not to add drama to her? Even if it's just one scene, one line, or one shot, it's still good. Not to mention that this performance is absolutely the finishing touch. If I don't seize the opportunity this time, I'm afraid it won't be easy to cooperate with this person in the future. The screenwriter patted his chest and said there was no problem. She can turn her cousin into a sister, which is a bone-breaking relationship with the male protagonist. She can give the sister a husband who owes a lot of debt and ran away, and is being pressed for debt. She is missing too much. The background of having to gamble with too much money. The director even told Tao Ran that they still have sufficient funds for this drama and can apply for a good salary for her. But I'm afraid I don't have much time. Tao Ran glanced at Sister Zhen. In a few days, the filming of Sister will be closed. I may not be able to catch up by then. Sister Zhen didn't speak, but the producer on the side had already answered. This is a trivial matter. We can revise your script overnight. Then we will shoot your scenes in the past few days. We have already inquired about it. Your variety show basically shoots for 7 days and has 7 days off, and there is no continuity in between. No, you will be given overly heavy scenes, as long as you come back to make up for a few scenes when you are free. Sister Zhen nodded. The show Sister takes nearly 3 months from the start of filming to the final selection. It is impossible for you to officially join the group for filming in these 3 months. The filming over there is non-stop, and your fragmented time is there are too many, so I just fill them with this drama. In addition, the only work you can produce in these few months cannot be just a variety show. This show is going to be a star, so it will be good for you to be familiar with it. Sister Zhen listened to the screenwriter's intention to change the role of Zhang Yian's cousin from annoying to one that makes people feel distressed. There is a lot of room for the role to be played. She hopes that Zhonglan can play it well. When the time comes, she will use this. The play is a stepping stone to becoming a big movie. Thus, Tao Ran became an official actor in this drama. Since she had rehearsed today's scenes, she had a lot of free time, so she really helped Lugo Jiao on the set. Lugo Jiao hasn't fully mastered acting yet, but fortunately his character image is very similar to himself, and he only needs to act in his true colors, so he is barely competent. He himself was considered to be highly motivated, and when Tao Ran saw that he was willing to learn, he was willing to teach him. At noon, Sister Zhen came to tell her that the higher UPS at Guangguang were completely relieved of her acting skills and intended to create an urban heroine drama for her, so she wouldn't have to feel bad even if she got a first round of the sister show. Come back early and start shooting early. Tao Ran understood, it was a subtle way to save her from wasting time on the sister project. Sister, tell them that I will do my best for the job I take. I want to get a good ranking in the sister program, that's what Zhonglan wants, and she has to help achieve it. In addition, according to the contract, the drama I want to take requires my nod. There is no need to tailor the drama for me, I have to nod the script before I act. And I prefer dramas with high gold content. Now that I am making a comeback, then I will you go there for the prize. Don't you? Sister Zhen greatly appreciated it and nodded with a smile. It's best if you think so. Sister means the same thing. In the future, sister will help you filter out part of the script. If we want to act, we will act to win awards. Sister Zhen feels that this collaboration with Zhonglan is so comfortable. Last night she recommended Zhonglan to 2 big-budget movies, and she wonders if she will receive a notification from the camera. In the afternoon, the crew held a simple press conference. The invitees were all media with whom Guangguang was familiar. Sister Zhen officially announced the news that Zhonglan signed with the Rays. Several Rays executives present gave congratulatory speeches and expressed their joy. Guangguang said that they were moved by Ms. Zhang Yian's good deeds and invited her to join their company with the utmost sincerity to return to the entertainment industry again to do better charity. They will also follow Ms. Zhonglan and devote greater efforts to charity. The crew also expressed that they were honored to invite Ms. Zhonglan to play a supporting role in the play. All viewers are asked to look forward to Ms. Zhang Yian's performance. As the top idol in the entertainment industry today, Lugo Jiao also rarely stood beside Zhonglan throughout the entire process, and appeared in front of the camera to express, "Sister Zhonglan is my idol. I admire her in terms of acting skills, character, and principles of life. She is the best sister, and I am her #1 fan. I hope everyone can support my sister in the future. She is great. She deserves it. On behalf of my sister, I would like to thank everyone." He bowed deeply. The fans who were supporting Lugo Jiao on the set screamed like crazy, shouting that they would support Zhonglan in the future. Sister Zhen whispered to Tao Ran, "Jiao is a traffic star. His fans are young, fanatical, and capable. If you want to join Sister, you need support to vote. He can help you cheer up, and he can compare with yours when voting. Passerby fans are much stronger. Thank you, Sister. Same. Many of my fans are middle-aged, will they go into betting? Don't thank me. I didn't tell Jiao about this. This is his own intention. Thank yourself." Sister Zhen was very happy that her artists were so harmonious. Lugo Jiao has a good relationship with Zhonglan, which actually benefits him more. Traffic will eventually transform, and it is safest to follow the mainstream. The flashbulbs kept going on. Wearing a new formal suit just sent by the brand, Tao Ran showed no stage fright and faced the camera. "All my remuneration for this performance will be donated. Thank you everyone for your support." Lugo Jiao and the crew also expressed their intention to donate a certain amount of money. "Please support our crew." On this day, the word Zhonglan appeared several times on hot searches. At the same time, Liang Cheng, who had injured his ribs but was still dragged to the company office, was trained so hard that he couldn't lift his head. GXC felt that Liang Cheng was like a time bomb, making people uneasy. "Hurry up and take out the 4 million you owe the company, Mr. Zhang, Mr. Lei, and others were also reprimanded by the board of directors. GXC had advanced money to Liang Cheng before, but Zhang Lan went to someone else's house. It was clear that they were going to get a divorce soon. The thought of pulling out carrots and bringing out the mud gave them a headache. Including the work compensation you have to pay for your injury, the total is 8 million. Either get the money quickly, or you go to work quickly. There is no other choice. Today's second chapter will be a little later. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 520. 8 million? The advance payment of 4 million has become 8 million? Liang Cheng almost rolled from his chair to the ground. Are these people ruffians? Why didn't they grab it? There is room for maneuver in many of those jobs. Just because of the company's reputation, there is almost no need to lose money, right? If you really want to do the math, the most you can do is to pay $1 million. Now that a lion is talking so loudly, is there any humanity left? You are blackmailing me. Blackmailing you, Mr. Zhang was furious. You're going to be a loser in all likelihood. Not only will the company not make any money from you, but it may also lose its reputation because of you, a loser. The company doesn't know how much loss it will have to bear. Also, many of your business activities are signed for the whole year. Now that you are injured and questioned about your marriage, you are almost certain to lose money. Don't think it's a big deal if you just pay 4 million now. If you don't do it right, there will be many more 4 million waiting for you to pay. Mr. Zhang gave Liang Cheng a flying kick, and he flew out of the chair. Then he hugged his ribs and broke out in cold sweat. What can he do? The company uses contracts to control him. No matter how unwilling he is to get the money, he can only take it out. In the end, the company simply took away his 8 million, but those people still didn't give him a good look. I'm telling you. You have only one way left now. Go and beg Zhang Lan, beg her to be merciful, and beg her not to divorce you. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for it. The irritable Liang Cheng was at the end of his rope. God knew how much he hated that woman, but he still had to beg with shame. That night, Liang Cheng posted a donation form online. In order to support his wife's charity work, he personally donated 2 million, which was a show of affection. The next day, Liang Cheng went to visit Chaoran's crew. He sent a support vehicle and bought high-end Japanese lunch boxes for the entire crew in order to gain more favor. Afraid that his wife would make a fool of herself in public, he showed up while his wife was filming. Zioxia, do you remember brother, Liang Cheng, like Chaoran who came to see Sister Zhen that day, was stopped directly outside the crew. He could only shamelessly find Zioxia. Zioxia he. Brother, I haven't seen you for a long time. Look, the gift I gave you. Liang Cheng handed something over. Zioxia opened it and saw that it was a gift certificate worth 100,000 yuan from a luxury store. Xia, there is some misunderstanding between brother and your sister. Can you please help resolve the conflict between brother and your sister? Can you take brother to your sister's lounge first? So, do you want me to help resolve the conflict, or do you want me to take you inside? All. Since there are more than one, then this is it. Zioxia raised the shopping cart. You know, my sister is very dissatisfied with you now. If I let you in rashly, I'm afraid I will lose my job. You help me first, I won't treat you badly. Zioxia shook her head, threw the card directly back into Liang Cheng's arms, and left without looking back. When Liang Cheng appeared again, the card he gave Zioxia had a face value of 300,000. Zioxia then let Liang Cheng into Chaoran's lounge. It means Chaoran. At this time, it is the time to pluck the wool vigorously. Although the scumbag's money is common property, God knows how much money the scumbag has in total and how much he has transferred. Nowadays, it is rare for a scumbag to be so willing to spend money. At this time, it is natural to work hard to get as much as possible. Well, Taoran had already expected that Liang Cheng would definitely come to her door once her traces were exposed, so he warned Xiaoxia early in the morning. In the state of restlessness, Liang Cheng finally waited for his wife. After all, he is a professional actor, so Liang Cheng burst into tears and begged for forgiveness as soon as he came on. Taoran said coldly, "Please forgive me. At least you have to let me believe that you really want to live. You have to at least let me see your sincerity. I have said it before, if you leave your savings with me, I will reluctantly talk to you." Live life. Liang Cheng opened his mouth. Just yesterday, he had spent tens of millions. 10 million. Still asking him for money? But if his relationship with Zhonglan continues to deteriorate, he may have to continue to lose money like today. Xiaolan, some of my money has been used for financial management. Today I paid back 8 million to the company, so it's not that I don't want to give it to you, but I really don't have much money. Don't worry, when the time for financial management products comes, I'll transfer the money to you. Give it all to you. Leave it all at your place. Okay, this was the best way he could think of. Stabilize the person first, and then talk about the rest. In fact, Liang Cheng is really not as rich as Zhonglan imagined. After all, he still has a family, right? Although the villa was small and remote, it cost a lot of money. Xiaowai and her son spend 100,000 yuan a month, and they have to pay extra during the holidays, so they spend a lot of money in a year. Miao Xiaowai has been making trouble again these days. At this juncture, how dare he take risks? In order to appease him, he transferred a large amount of money to Miao Xiaowai. The day before yesterday, another 20 million was transferred to the old man's account. Now, after paying the company's money, he only has 20 million left. How much money have you spent on financial management? Liang Cheng opened his mouth. How much is good? 30 million? No, Zhonglan determined that he had at least 9 figures in savings, so he would definitely ask about the remaining tens of millions. If he can't explain clearly, he will cause trouble again. Say 5, 10 million? 58 million. He finally decided to give this number. Real? Really, I promise. I will never lie to you. Where can I do financial management? It's an investment. If you follow our company, you will definitely make money without losing money. If you don't believe it, you can ask Mr. Zhang later. When can it be taken out? It's coming soon, about half a year. When a movie pays back, I'll take out the money. Wife, trust me. Come home with me, and we'll start from scratch. From now on, there will only be 3 of us at home, and we'll live a good life. All the money I make will be given to you. So how much money do you have in your account now? And, less than 16 million. First transfer the money you have left to me, and then write me a guarantee letter, writing down how much of the deposit you have invested with the company. When the money arrives, you will deposit the money with me. Give me a guarantee, ensure. Write a letter of guarantee again? You don't dare to write any more? Are you really lying to me? Did you spend the 58 million on something else? Liang Chenxin was furious, and after weighing the matter, he immediately made a decision. Isn't it just a piece of paper? Such paper has no legal effect. What is he afraid of? Tao ran through the pen and paper over. It depends on your performance. Only if you write a letter of guarantee and pay the money will I go home with you. Otherwise, there is no need to discuss it. I have to leave some money. Can I transfer 10 million to you first? 15 million. What you said, You have to do it? In the name of Coco, you promise to go home with me after you get the money and the guarantee letter. Liang Cheng was relieved. With a flick of his eye, he wrote the note as Chao Ran asked. Chao Ran looked at the guarantee letter and accepted it. You can go now. Then when will you go home? When you get the 58 million. You're humming kidding me, Liang Cheng was furious, you can even use children to trick me. If you have nothing to do, read more books. What I just said was I will reply only if you give me the money to write a letter of guarantee, not I will reply as long as you write it. Go back to study Chinese. Wait until the money comes. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 521. Routine. It's full of tricks. Liang Cheng, who was furious, ignored his rib injuries, gritted his teeth and stood up, grabbing the guarantee letter that Chao Ran was holding in his hand. Although his left hand was sprained, his right hand was fine. He grabbed Chao Ran's hand tightly and broke it hard. Chao Ran didn't try to break free, but instead kicked his foot. Liang Cheng's leg, which was still injured at the ankle, suddenly went weak and he lost his balance. Chao Ran adjusted his position, dragged Liang Cheng back, knocked over the simple clothes hanger in the lounge, and made a banging sound. Then he controlled Liang Cheng's body, fell to the ground with him, and then screamed. There's too much movement. Someone came from outside and the lounge door was opened. Several staff members came in at once, as well as Luo Jiao, Sister Zhen, and others in the lounge next door. The scene everyone saw was Zhang Lan shouting for help, being pinned down by Liang Cheng and pushed to the ground. Liang Cheng is trying to grab the mobile phone in Zhang Yian's hand or something. Dying. Is this blatant domestic violence? A man from the crowd stepped out with a camera in his hand, taking pictures continuously. Liang Cheng heard the sound of the shutter and raised his head. Just in time, a close-up was left in the camera. Misunderstanding. He said quickly. The guy taking the photo, wearing a work badge, a vest, and holding a professional camera, was clearly a reporter. But he clearly inquired and said that there was a heavy shooting mission today and no reporters came to interview. It's over, it's over. Liang Cheng hurriedly explained, but a large group of people had already rushed up and dragged him away. You still have the nerve to say you misunderstood when you were caught. Luo Jiao hit Liang Cheng in the face with an uppercut. You dare to hit me? I helped my sister fight back in self-defense. What's wrong? Are you not convinced? Then call the police. Luo Jiao is young and energetic, but also very angry. Zhang Lan helped him a lot in the past 2 days. Zhang Lan led him in several scenes in a row, which benefited him a lot. He regarded Zhang Lan as his teacher. They are working hard, and there are still several scenes to come, but if this rubbish makes a scene, if I get injured or emotionally affected, it will directly ruin the filming progress. It's really unlucky. Luo Jiao said, and asked her assistant to hit Yao Yaoling. No, 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 don't call the police, Liang Cheng's assistant came up to stop him. It's all a misunderstanding. It's definitely not violence. Is it? Liang Chenglian nodded. Just as he was about to speak, he looked at the woman lying on the ground with her arms folded and frowning, unable to get up, and was speechless for a moment. Pretending. She pretended. She did it on purpose. She's a thief. Chao Ran held his arms and cried out in pain. She hit the ground with the back of her hand, which was scratched and blood seeped out, which shocked everyone. But what she was holding was her arms. Shoulders and arms. It hurts, Chao Ran snorted, trembled slightly, and his eyes were red. Is this, twisted? There was a doctor on the set and he quickly called over. The director and screenwriter were all alerted, and even the producer came. At this moment, Liang Cheng wanted to die. Why is this woman so scary? When did your acting skills become so good? I kept grabbing her hand, but I didn't touch it at all, and I didn't press her shoulder, okay. Just now, she was clearly the one who caught herself and fell down. She wasn't on her shoulders, so why was she hurting? What on earth is she going to do? What to do? He was afraid that he would not be able to wash himself off if he jumped into the Yellow River. There are more and more people, how can he keep silent? There are still reporters here, is this matter going to cause a big fuss? He looked at the assistant for help, and the assistant there was quietly retreating, holding his mobile phone and starting to make a call. He should be calling the company. Done. It's more difficult to explain in the company. Everyone's eyes were on Tao Ran. Two floor attendants dragged Liang Cheng and pushed him aside. The assistant director walked by and even kicked him. He struggled and cursed, but was slapped again on his backhand. Looking up, he not only didn't know who slapped him, but also found that no one was paying attention to him. And that paparazzi just now didn't even look at him. Hit someone. The crew is beating someone. Let me go, don't touch me. If you touch me again, I will sue you. We at GXC will not let you go. Liang Cheng thought that when he shouted, the paparazzi would come over to take pictures, but he didn't. He saw that the paparazzi was still taking pictures around Zhang Lan. What's so great about her? This reporter must have taken advantage of them. Be honest. Instead, someone knocked him on the ribs, causing him to kneel down in pain. On the other side, Tao Ran was helped to sit down, and the doctor began to examine her arm. Rolling up their sleeves, everyone gasped. Zhang Yian's arms were covered in bruises. The color has turned black, and it is all over the place, so scary. This injury should last for several days. And everyone knows that in the past 2 days, Zhang Lan has been on the set during the day and in the studio at night. How could she be injured like this? How could it be so injured that no one knows? Well, there is only one possibility. Xiaoxia and Sister Zhen, whose faces turned dark, pointed at Liang Cheng and said in unison, "It was the day before yesterday, right? The day before yesterday, you went home from the charity reception, but you returned to the studio in a panic at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Is it because the scumbag hit you? He was the one who hit him, right?" For a moment, everyone looked at Liang Cheng with disdain and disdain. Sure enough, it's not the first time. All right. No wonder Zhang Lan and her children have treated the studio as their home for the past 2 days because they simply cannot stay at home. No wonder there are rumors of marriage changes, no wonder Zhang Lan and Liang Cheng are so clear about it. It turns out that this sanctimonious guy is a hypocrite. Beat a woman. Today he dared to do anything rashly on the set and in public places, let alone at home. They discovered it today. If they were at home, who would know? Immediately afterwards, they discovered that Zhang Lan also had several bruises on his other arm. There are clear blue and black lines on the forearm. Judging from the mark, it was left by the finger after being grabbed. And judging from the size of the fingerprint, it is clearly a man's hand. If not Liang Cheng, who else could it be? Poor Zhang Lan, both arms are injured like this, and, I'm afraid. Why? Some people started to have wild ideas. Therefore, Zhang Yian's infrequent appearance in recent years may have something to do with this scumbag. Therefore, at Zhang Yian's charity reception, everyone wore formal clothes, but she was the only one wearing a suit and trousers. Was it because she was afraid of exposing her wounds? By the way, she donated such a large amount of savings, film remuneration, and advertising income. Could it be that she has seen through life? Such a sad feeling. After an examination, the doctor confirmed that Tao Ran had no fractures or dislocations, but suggested that she go to the hospital for a X-ray as a precaution. Tao Ran nodded and agreed. It's naturally nothing serious for her. She just followed the plan. The injuries on her body were not a trick, they were indeed left in the early hours of the day before yesterday. But instead of being beaten, he was left behind when he was dragged upstairs after getting entangled with Liang Cheng. I was bumped several times while going upstairs, but I didn't feel any pain at the time. After I went back to take a shower, I found a lot of bruises on my body, and even a large piece of skin was knocked off my back from hitting the painting on the wall. Today, when Liang Cheng came to her door, she simply gave him the name of domestic violence in full view of the public. Easy things, easy. Thank you Xiaoao, Wen haha, Long Ge, Rune the Book Club, Tale number 51393, and other babies for your rewards. Happy weekend.